Today, I'm joined by Regan Jules Mackay from NICRO, one of the largest non-profit organisations in South Africa. Welcome, Regan, and thank you for joining Caspio's Low Code, High Impact podcast. So can I ask you to please introduce yourself with everyone and share a little bit about your background and your current role at NICRO?
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to participate in this interview. My name is Regan Jules Mackay. I'm based in South Africa, and I work in the non-profit sector, specifically for the crime and violence prevention sector. I'm a consultant that works with NICRO, and it's NICRO's use of the Caspio platform that we're going to be talking more about today. What NICRO does is they're a registered nonprofit, and they work with adults and children in conflict with the law. And their goal is to help those children and adults stay away from a life of crime. They offer behavior change programs, counseling, other services to help people have options. And they also do early crime and violence prevention in communities, intervening at the schools and the family and at the community level to reduce the risk factors that increase the likelihood someone will become involved in crime or violence.
Thank you for sharing that, Regan. Like I said when we spoke earlier, I'm kind of overwhelmed a little bit when I read through what NICRO does as an organisation, and there was a quote that jumped out at me, and it just really resonated. It says, "NICRO sees thousands of success stories and know that people, even those that have faced the toughest of lives, can succeed. We are moved by the goodwill of individuals, groups and communities and need to harness this to work towards our vision of a safer South Africa for all." It's just mind-blowing what your organisation does in such a positive way. So thank you for, like I say, for joining today. I think it's really good to showcase what your organisation does. Obviously, we're going to talk about low code as well, but it's great to see these organisations making such a positive impact around the world, so, and especially in South Africa as well. So I know that you've been with a Caspio customer now for 3 years. Can you remember what kind of the challenges NICRO was facing back then and what made you look at low code and Caspio?
So NICRO has to develop a client management system because there are offices in all of the 9 provinces and 8 provinces at the moment. And so we needed to have a centralized way of managing our client data. Clients would be the adults and children NICRO works with, as well as community members, because social work services are provided to these people. So there's certain quality standards that have to be checked. And prior to this, NICRO, as of many nonprofits in South Africa, they rely on Excel. And while Excel is a brilliant tool, it's not really suited to keeping large records, especially when multiple people are working on the same document. And it just got really chaotic, lots of copying and pasting, lots of errors. So it wasn't really working. And when COVID hit, it was then necessary for NICRO to migrate all of its services online very rapidly because NICRO could not actually shut down. We had vulnerable people in programs and people still had to adhere to their court orders. So we still had to continue. So parallel to this, there was also the migration of NICRO's programs to an online platform, like an online learning management system. And at the same time, they then migrated their case management and client management system to an online platform as well. That would enable people working from home, because many people were in lockdown, to continue to render social work services to their clients while still keeping their records updated. Their supervisors could still see what it was that they were doing, and they could manage quality remotely. So it was going to happen anyway, but the fire was lit when COVID happened, and that then became the impetus to start working on things now. So we looked at a lot of different platforms, and we ended up going with Caspio, one, because it was robust enough to meet NICRO's needs. And our needs are quite various. We have quite many different types of clients. There's lots of different types of data we need to gather. We needed to also use the same system for as many different instances as possible. For example, we also use it for staff management now. We didn't want to have multiple systems.
Yeah.
We did explore going the normal traditional software development of hiring a developer, and it was prohibitively expensive. And then you also had to think about your monthly maintenance costs. So in the end, Caspio was the more affordable option. And it also gave us the flexibility to constantly adjust the tool and how we were gathering data as and when we needed, without having to go to a developer who would then charge us per hour to make like a small change in the drop-down menus or add another field to a form. We could then do this ourselves. So we built the entire Caspio platform ourselves. We self-taught, and we obviously received support from Caspio, and you guys have your online help section, your library. But we basically taught ourselves how to do Caspio, and it was really straightforward. A little bit of a steep learning curve those first few days, but once we understood the logic of how the the reports and the tables work together, it was then very, very easy. So it works so well for us because I'm constantly getting input from the social workers in the offices saying, can you add another reference to the drop-down menu? Can you add another field? A new funder comes on board, they want another piece of information captured. It's so quick, literally not even 5 minutes. You jump onto the system, add that, and it's now live for the entire organization. Previously, you'd have to go to a developer who would book it into their schedule and also wouldn't understand exactly what you wanted because I work with NICRO. I'm a NICRO staff member. I know what the social workers mean when they're talking about things on the ground. So having it done internally means you can anticipate, okay, they probably actually meant this, and I'm just going to make that change anyway. And it is exactly what they want. So it avoids having to work with outsiders who don't really understand all of those unspoken intricacies of your work, because your staff are able to do it themselves. They can just roll changes out very, very quickly. The feedback we've had from staff, initially they were like, oh no, this is a whole new platform. And people are reluctant to learn new tech. But once I could demonstrate like this, the minimum viable product, the basic skeleton framework, they immediately saw, actually, this is going to make our lives so much easier. Because instead of having to do this Excel spreadsheets month after month, copying and pasting, you create your client once. Everybody who needs to get access to that client data can access it to different reports. And then you just update your client once in terms of where they are in their service. Have you submitted their court report? Are they compliant? And that's it. You don't have to do anything further with your stats, with your reporting. So previously, social workers would have to do their casework, their client work, their stats reporting, their monthly reports, and it was just so time consuming. Now they don't have to do any of that. They just keep their clients updated on the system. And we've created different reports for different managers. So they just use their report to pull the data they need from the database. And it's live. It's the most recent data there is. And nobody has to report multiple times to multiple people. So the staff have been very enthusiastic about how much time and effort it's saved. They are a little bit daunted when they see it for the first time because we've already gone to town and we have, I think, over 100 different tools that we've built for the different managers. But once they understand, okay, this is why these tools are there, because the supervisor has a very particular view they need to see that the area manager does not need to see. And we can do record level security because privacy is huge. In South Africa, we have legislation around personal information and who can access it at different levels. So what we do is we can use an index table to give specific roles in the organization, specific views of information. So nobody can see something that they're not supposed to. And it's so easy to set that up. So this the Caspio way that it's been built, and that you can, it's almost like a Lego. You build the tool, the report that you want, because we have that flexibility. We don't have to explain to an external developer, this is kind of what we're thinking of. We can just do it in a matter of minutes or at a maximum an hour or two. And then we get the full working report exactly as the staff wants it. So it's really been a very beneficial activity for us to go through. It was quite a mindset from moving away from those traditional Excel spreadsheets and getting people to understand, just fill in the form once and then you update, and that's all you have to do. But now that people have actually gotten onto it, and now they're going, I must just go check on the CMS, client management system, to see where this is. Now it's starting to be integrated into how they're doing their day-to-day work. The CMS is where everything is, and people can just hop on there and get most recent data. Previously, they'd have to send somebody an email saying, please can I have your January stats for women aged 23 to 40. Now they can just hop on and pull that data themselves. So it has changed the way that NICRO works in 100 little ways, making things gradually more and more efficient.
Very good. It's pretty clear that there's multiple use cases here within NICRO for the Caspio platform, which is great to hear. So do you have different end users, or are they all very similar to different departments that are using the application? And what I'm also hearing as well is that it's definitely helped with the efficiency savings from filling out kind of clunky Excel spreadsheets, moving to the applications that Caspio have.
Yeah, so we have different managers who have different views of data, so they need more high level, and then your supervisor needs the nitty-gritty of how many court reports are due this month. So all of that information is captured by the social worker when she creates that initial record. And then we have different reports for different people. So if you want to see the court report tool, you just enter your dates and your office, and it'll pull out all of the clients whose court report is due within that time frame. Nobody else but the supervisor needs to see that. And the area managers also need other particular information for their stakeholders in court, their chief magistrates and so forth. So because the platform is so flexible, it's so easy to create a report for a very particular user, and they only need to look at that data. The database itself is very large, but we can pull all kinds of different information from different people, and that they find really useful.
No. Is there any particular feature of the platform that has been really beneficial that you would like to talk about?
I just like the way the reports that almost like the wizard that you go to where you select your different options. It's so simple to use, and it really gives it like a built-in flexibility. I have no real background in coding. So if someone said to me, one day you will build this thing, I would have thought they're insane. But it really is easy to work with. And I like that simple interface where you just select your options and there you have your report and it works. So just the whole way that it's been designed very much for users to eliminate all of the uncertainty and the lack of clarity. If you're not a developer, if you don't have a software development background, you can teach yourself how to work this within a maximum an hour and a half. Yeah. So it's like the way it's been designed.
It's interesting, Regan, what you say next. I speak to a lot of customers on a daily basis, and a lot of them have no technical background. So that's how easy, with some watching some of the tutorials that we have, they're up and running really quickly and building really quite complex applications, and it's having positive impact. So it's really interesting. It's good to see how Caspio really positively impacts a lot of organizations out there, and especially the people, like I say, that don't have technical background. It's great to see. So it sounds like over the last 3 years, your application's really evolved. Has it changed from the beginning to where it is now, and how do you see it in the future?
We're still using it to manage clients, but because we can now see, actually we can manage data and analyze that data and use it to do other things like quality control. We're starting to pull more data analysis reports, which was never really possible because you had to go through those Excel spreadsheets. Now it's straightforward to see how many clients are non-compliant with their court orders. Before, it was impossible to get that information without the staff having to manually go into their physical files and add up. Now I can see right away. So it's enabled us to now focus more on monitoring and evaluation. And obviously it depends on the staff updating their records, which is something that we're working on, but the system is there and it works. It's enabled us to produce impact reports with accuracy that we weren't able to produce because we just didn't have that data. We've added in quite a few new client tracking tools where we follow up with the clients at 3, 6, and 12 months after their completed service. That information goes into Caspio as well. So because we've been able to see what it does, it's gone through more than just the record keeping to also now becoming a crucial monitoring and evaluation tool. And now all our data is there. So we've got data going back to 2021, I think, is when we started. Yeah. So at the moment, we have 31,000 people sitting on our system. NICRO has never had that before. We'd always had year-to-year data sets kept separately. Now everything is in one place. So one day we can do longitudinal data analysis for like 10 years and we'll have that information. So in terms of the institutional knowledge and NICRO being able to contribute data to better understanding South Africa's situation, we can actually do that now. We never really set out to do that,
Yeah, I hear you. It sounds like there's so many end users for this. How do you gather feedback from the end users when they want changes or they want to make kind of enhancements to the application?
Well, they just send me a message. So they will send me a chat on Teams. They'll send me a Teams chat saying, can you add this in? I'll hop onto the system, add it in and say, just check it. And then the email back say, it works the way that it was. So this is why we like it so much, because people can see real-time improvements. They like the fact that their changes, actually, they can see it. And suggestions people have made for new tools have been actioned. So it enables the staff to feel like they really are giving input and their ideas are being listened to. And because it's so quick and because we don't have to go through a hierarchy, it's a very flat organization. So I'm empowered to make decisions about the client management system. I don't need to go higher than me for that.
Yeah.
So it enables the staff to feel like they really are part of management, part of the decision-making of the organization, because what they find on the ground, immediately it's of value, it's then rolled out for the whole organization, and people like that.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I was talking to a customer yesterday, and we were talking about the moment when they started with Caspio to the point where it was like, aha, everything just clicks. Can you remember when that time was with yourselves? Was there a certain point in the beginning of the journey where you thought, actually, this is going to be really good, beneficial to us working with Caspio?
When I was going through my own self-training and figuring out other the tools, and I suddenly realized when I saw how easy it was, I thought, okay, this is really, really good. And I actually said to, I think her name is Victoria, the lady that we've been working with.
Yeah.
I said to her, where have you guys been? Because we've been looking for something like this for decades. So, and we're just very grateful that we crossed paths with you. And also low code, no code has only relatively recently been around.
Yeah.
But this is exactly what we've been looking for, where you can just select what you want and it produces it. Previously, we've done a lot of software development through the traditional way, and it's always been an agonizingly painful process. And we're never happy with the end result, and we just run out of money because you can't keep fixing it. Our experience with Caspio has just been simple and straightforward, and we can get exactly what we want because we're building it. The only limitations are you might not have actually built a particular function into Caspio, which it may still count.
Yep.
So we're basically limited only by our imagination, which is, and there was no aha moment, but when I realized its capabilities was during when I was teaching it to myself.
Yeah. Okay. So reflecting kind of over the last 3 years, was there kind of a significant learning that you got to during the 3 years where you thought, actually, this is going to really work for us in terms of what's the learnings that other people would find beneficial to hearing from you?
So I think it was what I've mentioned earlier about the monitoring and evaluation. Yeah. Once you realize the kind of data we could gather, we then saw, we can expand what NICRO had already been doing for monitoring and evaluation and make it more robust. And now we can keep it all in one place. So we have that longitudinal data, which has always been a problem for NICRO. NICRO has been going since 1910, so it's very old, but we don't have the historical data. Now we are actually able to keep data in the place for the future. And they can look back to see what the patterns and the trends are. So it just is, it's opened up so many opportunities for NICRO to consolidate what it's doing and to share its knowledge with other people. We're producing quite regular M&E reports now, which are out to our stakeholders. So other people are also benefiting from our data and our insights. So we were never able to really do that before.
So Regan, looking forward into the future, is there any particular feature that you think would enhance the Caspio platform even more than what it is today?
Well, what our staff want, I don't even know if this is possible because of API issues, but they do want a WhatsApp integration.
Okay.
And WhatsApp is huge in South Africa for messaging. I know it's not necessarily the case in other countries, like there's Telegram and other things. But being able to do, the system doesn't allow you to send SMS and email, but they want WhatsApp specifically because we have a WhatsApp that we use for NICRO. If so, I could WhatsApp your clients and say, don't forget your court date is on this day, or don't forget your appointment is on that day. They've asked for that. I don't know if it's possible. Maybe easier. So one thing I did find, your help people have been extremely useful. I mean, they always just find
support. Yeah.
They did do some, I'm not doing some free advertising here, but they did do some custom coding for free for me. They're helping me solve a problem that they ended up actually writing the code for me. It would be nice if there's a library where you can have the custom codes that have been developed put there, because it's going to be the same for everyone. If you want to achieve this function, this is the custom code for that. I know you have the forum, but it's not as search friendly as it could be because of the way forums are structured. If there was like a library where you say this topic, this function, this is the custom code, and that is available to your paying, your customers, that would be really helpful.
Well, Regan, my counterparts in our product and marketing team will be listening to this. That feedback is great. I'll make sure that they have a good investigation into how and if we can do this. But some great ideas in there, which we've got to take on board and listen to our customers, is critical. So kind of wrapping this up from me then. So if a customer or potential customers thinking about low code, what advice would you give them?
Don't be intimidated because you have no software background. The whole point of low code, no code is to help people who know what they want but don't have the coding background to figure it out to actually achieve that. A lot of people have this mental barrier. I'm not a tech person. I don't know coding. I can't do this. You actually can now with low code, no code. It's literally like taking Lego blocks that somebody's made for you, and you decide where you want to put the Lego blocks, and there you have your little house or whatever you want built. You don't need to have any technical knowledge. If you can read and click on a button, that's basically the skills that you need to do Caspio. Yeah.
Regan, thank you so much for sharing your low code and Caspio journey. I've really enjoyed our conversation. Thank you for being a Caspio customer for the last 3 years and hopefully for many more years to come. We really appreciate your business and taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk about what we've done. And we've had a really positive experience with Caspio. So it's important that we communicate that to others so that other people who are in the same position can hopefully have the same experience.
Thank you, Regan.
Yeah, thank you.